Joining us now is Congressman Khanna. Congressman, I ran into you on the Navy Pier yesterday. It was great to see you. It seems like there's a lot of negative stuff happening at this convention. I know it's like people talking about love and joy, but was there a lot of love and joy coming from the Obamas last night? Did you hear that?
Well, I know you played some of the one-liners, but President Obama also spoke about extending grace to each other, respecting difference, having.
They want to lock Trump up. How is that extending grace?
Well, he didn't talk about that. He would talk about having kindness, and we've got to figure out in this country how we're going to come together at some point. And that part of the president's speech, I think a lot of Americans could agree with, even if they don't agree with the one-liners. Have a common agenda of bringing manufacturing back, of helping working families that have been left behind because of globalization, of helping places like Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And I think that's what the Democrats should talk about.
Do you think that the question of manufacturing jobs, let's just stay with that. I mean, that's been a huge disappointment in the last 3.5 years. The jobs numbers revised downward. We're going to get into that more deeply later in the show. That is a huge scandal. And if that had happened under Trump, we'd be hearing, holy hell from this crowd. But is anyone going to talk about this tonight?
Well, Laura, look, the manufacturing numbers, they're twice the investment in manufacturing, actually, over the last 3.5 years.
The jobs aren't coming, though. I mean, that's been exposed. Just like the EV charging stations aren't coming.
Well, there are areas where we can have common ground. We don't want China dumping the steel. Let's have tariffs on China dumping steel as their steel is collapsing. We want to have new steel plants here in America. Let's invest in that. Let's make sure that we have new aluminum here in America. There are areas where we can work together, and the president has had a manufacturing agenda with twice the manufacturing investment than in Trump's years.
Do you think that people like Senator Sherrod Brown and obviously John Fetterman, others, Senator from
Jackie Rosen.
Yeah, Rose is not coming to this convention. What does that say about the ideological split in the Democrat Party?
Well, one, I think they're in their states. They're in tough election races. They're all up. They're all up 5 to 7 to 8 points, at least Sherrod Brown and Jackie Rosen, and that's a smart thing.
Why aren't they confident? Why wouldn't they come here? And they got the Obama. This is royalty here. They got the Obamas, the Clinton. I mean, Bill Clinton. I mean, that's the biggest thing ever. They're not very controversial.
Because Laura, all politics is local, and they're better served being in their states. But look, I'm excited to hear Bill Clinton. I know you had your correspondent talking about people not being excited. He's the only Democrat who's carried in the last 20 years white working class and working class areas. And we need to put him out there. I would send him to factory towns. I'd send him all over Pennsylvania. I think he still understands a lot of people who've been left out in the economy.
Are you for banning fracking like Kamala Harris, or are you not for that?
I'm not for banning it on private land. On federal land, that's what President Biden ran on. That is the same position.
Well, you're not for that, really, are you?
On federal land, but not on private land. And on private land is where most of it is.
We're artificially keeping down our energy supply because of that ban on federal land. And, fracking's actually, quite safe. And, if you allow it on private land, that can hurt water supplies, too. Why not offer it on federal land?
Well, I think you need to have a proper regulation. But on private land, neither President Biden nor Vice President Harris is for banning it. And as you know, natural gas production is at record levels, as is oil production in this country, just factually.
So you think the price of gas that's good for most Americans where it is now?
No, it should come down more. But the way to make the price of gas come down is to be tougher on Saudi Arabia, to make sure OPEC isn't restricting, to make sure we have more.
We're making Venezuela richer we're like going to Venezuela. We're helping these countries by keeping our supply artificially low. We should just dominate, right?
No, look, we have record production in this country. And by the way, if we diversify the economy and if we have more renewable energy, that's going to make us less dependent on Russia, on Venezuela, on Saudi. Why wouldn't we want to do
She's made us more dependent on those countries. That's the problem. We're more dependent on them because of the regulations in place. Why would we be?
But we're at record production on natural gas and on oil. So why not diversify? Why not do all of the above? Why not also have solar, wind, geothermal?
I think Trump says he wants all those. I just think he wants to drill, baby, drill to get the price down for working. And I know you care about working class people. It's great to have you on tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us.
Thank you, Laura.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.